Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to start the Sass portion of this. Here they do an introduction to the Sass challenge. Sass, or Syntactically Awesome Style Sheets, is a language extension of CSS. It adds features that aren't available using basic CSS syntax. Sass makes it easier for developers to simplify and maintain the style sheets for their projects. Sass can be extended. Sass can extend the CSS language because it is a preprocessor. It takes code written using Sass syntax and converts it into basic CSS. This allows you to create variables, nest CSS rules into others, and import other Sass files, among other things. The result is more compact, easier to read code. There are two syntaxes available for Sass. The first is known as SCSS, Sassy CSS, and used throughout these challenges. It is an extension of the syntax of CSS. This means that every valid CSS style sheet is valid SCSS file with the same meaning. Files using the syntax have the SCSS extension. Basically, all that means is that you can just put CSS into an SCSS file and it'll work fine. SCSS is just CSS with more on it. The second and older syntax, known as the indented syntax, or sometimes just Sass, uses indentation rather than brackets to indicate nesting of selectors, and new lines rather than semicolons to separate properties. Files using this syntax have the .sass extension. This section introduces the basic features of Sass. So let's go to the first lesson. One feature of Sass that's different than CSS is it uses variables. They are declared and set to store data, similar to JavaScript. In JavaScript, variables are defined using the let and constant keyword. In Sass, variables start with a bling followed by the variable name. Here's a couple examples. So here we have our main fonts, where we have Arial and sans serif, and our heading color is green. To use this variables, we can go h1, and then you can see we're adding the variable, which is defined here. So the main fonts, so this is going to be h1 is going to be Arial and sans serif, and then the heading color is going to be equal to this heading color right here. One example when variables are useful is when a number of elements need to be the same color. If that color is changed, the only place to edit the code is in the variable value. So we want to create a variable text color and set it to red, then change the value of the color property for the blog post and h2 to the text color variable. Okay, cool. So first off, we want to create a variable. And so the way that we create a variable with Sass is we start with the bling, and then we say, well, they want us to call it text color. And then we set that equal to, it looks like they just want us to be red. No. Create a text color variable and set it equal to red. Text color variable. Text color is equal to red. Got it. Then change the value of the color property for the blog post. So the blog post is equal to red right now, but we just want to change it to text color. That's not even going to change anything. Then change the value of the color property from the blog post and the h2 to text color. So the blog post is, all right, we already changed the blog post, and now we're going to change the header. There we go. Looks like that passes. Okay, that's not very helpful because you're changing red stuff to red. I think it's better to say, let's say like, well, like, look, we can do this now, blue. Now, say this one was set to blue. Say this one was set to red, and that one was set to red like it was before. Oh, jeez. Text align, text color, that's not right. They want us to change the header, so we can say color is equal to text color. Now everything's set to red, right? Header, color, blog post. Header is the class, h1. Why is that not working? Oh, it needs to have a money sign, not a pound sign. Okay, so now everything's set to red. This allows us to change everything quickly. We can just call this blue and then everything. Now, if this one was still set to red, and we wanted to change, if this one was set to green, and this one was set to, and this one, yeah, if this, and this is still red, then you can see it's easy to change the whole document. Now, right now we've only got 3 variables, so it doesn't make any sense to do this. But once you've got an application with thousands of lines of code, being able to go in and say, oh, we want a primary brand color instead of it being green, we want to change it to red, then that's super easy for you to do. And it also makes it so you can match up colors. When I write web applications, I like to have like a primary color, secondary color, and a tertiary color, and never go beyond the 3 colors, because if you do it with these variables, then you can always just pick 3 colors that line up like the initial ones that you started with, and that makes it so that it makes your life easier down the road. Anyways, this is a pretty simple one, but I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about why SCSS is useful. I use it a lot in the development work I do, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you in the next one.